Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome, everybody. This is the first ever, the pioneering the game show on LinkedIn, an experience like you've never had before. The reason and purpose for this is to create a fun environment where your emotions are involved so you can learn LinkedIn strategies, sales skills, mindset shifts, and be able to remember because you're going to retain the information because you have emotions involved. So I just want to welcome Joni. Great to see you. Shankar, Aaron, Russell, Aaron, John, Kendall, Shanae, Mike, Clive, Rosie, Ian, Alfred, Lucia, Todd. Wow, they're coming in. So we're going to get this started. So get ready to take notes or to sit back and have some fun and enjoy the journey.
Ron, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Let us know who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Ron Stefanski. I hail from Detroit, Michigan. I am the host of Disrupt Ed, a podcast and community which gathers together thought leaders who are interested in understanding the challenges and the opportunities of this 5G wired world of disruption, where technology, globalization, and the pandemic have changed the world of work and the world of learning completely.
Yes, indeed. So, Ron, for your test question, I'm going to give you a question that ChatGPT gave me. Christopher, okay, are you coming up on stage? All right, come on up. Are you ready, Ron?
Yes.
For your question. All right. So this is just going to be a test. This does not count. All right. So, which of these is not a LinkedIn learning course? Public speaking foundations, personal branding on social media. Okay, that's A, public speaking foundations, B, personal branding on social media, C, mastering time management, or D, how to make the perfect cup of coffee. Ron, you have 4
D.
seconds to answer.
D,
B,
the perfect cup of coffee.
yeah, that was D, but you're right. Yeah. All right. Now, the audience, this is where you chime in and give applause for Ron.
Yes, thank you, Shanae. Thank you for being the first to applaud.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Shankar, thank you. Russell,
there you go.
Krishan,
they're all applauding you now.
Oh my God, they're all. I feel the love, you guys. I truly do.
Awesome. Okay, so now, Christopher, can you unmute yourself?
I can.
Great. Introduce yourself, who you are. You're going to be going head to head with Ron. And first, we'll start off with 3 questions. But right now, introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and what you do.
I'm Chris. I do IT consulting for small, medium businesses in the Syracuse, New York area, which is, if you look at the map of the state of New York and you point to the middle, that's about where I am.
Awesome. Yeah, I used to go into, you know where the Finger Lakes are?
Yep.
Yep. I used to go up there as a kid all the time. So very cool. Welcome. All right. So before we get started, I just want everyone to know that the game show is brought to you by TABS, TTABS. It's about these 5 things you have to have in place in order to grow your business predictably, in order to schedule meetings and onboard new clients predictably. First T is technique. That's how you do what you do. The second T is tactic. That's what you do. A is your attitude. Nothing happens without the right mindset, the right perspective, the right attitude. Behavior. These are those actions you take that move the needle. If you do a certain number of these, you will schedule a certain amount of appointments and onboard a certain amount of clients. And then S is strategy. Strategy is about understanding your core audience, speaking to them in a specific way that builds confidence in you and your solution being able to solve their problem. All right. Are you guys ready? Ron and
Yes.
Christopher. All right. Now,
Yeah.
Do it.
Shanae, this is where I need you to watch because you guys, as soon as I read the question, you need to put your thumb up, okay? But you got to wait till I finish the question before you put your thumb up. And then
Okay.
the person who has their thumb up, after I read the question, I didn't even give you the multiple choice responses yet, just right after I read the question. Then the person who has their thumb up, I will read the questions and then you get the answer. And if you miss it, then it will go back to the other person. Do we understand?
Yeah.
Okay. This is LinkedIn 101. Which of these is not a LinkedIn reaction? This is where you guys put your thumb up.
I'm waiting.
There
Ron.
we go. Ron, there you go. Okay. A, clapping. B, light bulb. C, laughing. And D, crying.
Mm. Can you give them to me again?
Sure. A, clapping. B, light bulb. C, laughing. And D, crying.
I would say the light bulb. Light bulb.
I'm sorry, Ron. That is incorrect. Christopher.
Crying.
Yes. Everybody in the audience, I can't hear you. All right. Rock and roll. Okay, so that's 1 point for Christopher. Now we're good. Woohoo! That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, question number 2. We're going to get a little bit more difficult. Okay? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you sure? Tara, great to see you.
Nope.
Okay. Here we go. Remember, this is going to be a longer question. So wait till I'm finished. Someone reaches out to you on LinkedIn through direct message and says, Ron, Christopher, I'm interested in becoming your client. Please email me your different pricing options, length of engagement, and details of all that you do. Once I review, I will follow up with you. What do you do in this situation? Okay, Ron. Okay.
Ron.
All right. So, Ron, you're quick on the trigger. So you will go first. Okay.
Okay.
So just to read this again, because it's a little lengthy, someone reaches out to you on LinkedIn through a direct message and says, hey, Ron, man, I'm really impressed with what you do. Please email me. I want to be your client. I'm interested in being your client. Please email me your different pricing options, length of engagement, and details of all that you do. Once I review, I will follow up with you. So I'm going to give you multiple choice. What do you do in this situation? A, you email them marketing info and pricing. Okay. B, you give them detailed information with pricing. C, ask to schedule a meeting first. D, put together a proposal and email it to them. Do you need me to read those
C.
again? C, ask
C.
to schedule a meeting first. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's got it on the first try. Oh, we got some competition going on here. It's 1-1. And we're going for the tiebreaker round. Let me tell everyone something, because this happens to me. It used to happen to one of my clients. If someone reaches out to you and says, hey, I'm interested in working with you. Send me this, 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 and this. This is the MESS principle. MESS, M-E-S-S, okay? MESS. The MESS principle is this. If you allow the prospect to control the process, it will end up a mess for you and for them. You need to control the process, not as an authoritarian, but as the authority, okay? Always get them on the phone. Say, like if someone did this to me, like my one client did before he was my client, he did this to me because everyone was doing it to him. I said, what I find works best is to schedule a meeting to see if I can help. I don't even know if I can help yet. I don't even know what your needs are. Let's have a conversation and talk. And if I think I can help, and if you're interested, then we can go into a deeper conversation. Sound good? Boom. 5 days later, he became my client, paid in full. All right. So remember the mess principle. All right. Don't get yourself into a mess by allowing them to control the process. All right. Question 3. Okay. This is a short one, guys. Okay. So be ready with your trigger finger. What does the acronym TABS, TTABS, stand for? Okay, Ron, you are up.
All right. I'll try. Technique, tactic, attitude, behavior, strategy.
Boom! Oh, man. Way to rock, man. What do you mean you try? And then it's just like bam, 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 bam. That's good. Okay, so Ron is the winner of round 1. Now we're going to move into round 2. Christopher, thank you for joining. And now, does someone want to replace Christopher? Or do you want to see Christopher and Ron? Oh, Lucia. All right. Are you going to join? Come on up. Introduce yourself and let us know who you
Hi
are and what you
everyone,
do.
I'm Lucia. This is so fun that I couldn't miss the opportunity.
Yeah,
So,
awesome to have you
looking
here.
forward to beat Ron.
All right. Ron.
All right, Lucia.
Some
Okay.
great competition.
This is getting intense now. All right.
Yeah.
I got duck bumps. You know what duck bumps are? Have you ever heard of
No.
goosebumps?
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
They're duck bumps are the bumps on top of goosebumps. Okay.
Ooh,
All right. So, just to go back into tabs, just so you all know this, because I want you to take some information that's helpful. Tabs, TTABS. Doesn't tabs like have one T? Not my tabs. Okay. This is it. Take this away. You ever walk into a retail store and a clerk walks up to you, a sales clerk walks up to you and says, "May I help you?" And you say, "What?"
No, I'm just looking.
Yeah, and that's a lie, Ron. You're there to buy something, aren't you? Okay. But why do we lie to that poor sales clerk? Because
We don't want them in our face.
Yes, we do not want to be sold. Exactly right. So think about this with TTABS. If this sales clerk had some training and understood her target audience, okay, and she had a strategy developed to speak directly to their core need, knowing what they potentially would say when they came in the door, had a tactic to approach them, a technique that was a pattern interrupt that stopped them in their tracks, and walked up there with boldness, the right attitude, okay, and did this consistently throughout the day. Those are the behaviors. And let's just say she walks up and someone comes in the store and says, "Welcome to ABC Retail. I'm sure you're here just looking." Smile, okay? She just took that away from them. Do you understand that? "I'm sure you're here just looking." Would you be against me showing you how I can save you 39%? That's typically how much I can save our customers. Do you guys see how that's a different approach using tactic, technique, attitude, behavior, strategy? When you do this in your conversations, when you combine all 5 of those, you engage in conversations predictably that lead to clients. Okay, so remember, tabs, TTABS. All right, so we are in round 2. Question number 1. All right, we're going to bring some Gary V into this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is going to be a quick question. The first person with the thumb up after I complete the question gets to try to answer the multiple choice answers or pick it first, okay? Gary Vaynerchuk is famous for saying this phrase about getting content out. Lucia, are you ready? Okay. Okay, A, get content out 3 billion times per week. Okay? B, Get content out 5 times per week. C. Get content out 7 times per week. Or D. You can't determine quality content without quantity. Do, 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 do.
One. A.
You get content out 3 billion times per week? Is that what you're
I
picking?
don't think so.
Is that your
Yes.
final answer?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, but it would sound like
Me?
he does say get out content like 5 to 15 times a day. He does say that, but it's something that's a hyperbole around Gary Vaynerchuk. Ron, you get a chance to steal.
Okay. Can I hear the options again?
Yes, one more time. We'll go through the options. You already know that getting content out 3 billion times per week isn't what he said. Okay. You might want to check me on ChatGPT. At least it'll give you answers through 2021 just to make sure I'm accurate with you. Okay. B, get content out 5 times per week. Get content out 7 times per week. Or that's C, by the way. And D, you can't determine quality content without quantity.
I'm going to go with D.
Booyah! Yes! All right, Ron, dude. I promise you, everyone, I was not feeding Ron answers before this. I didn't even know Ron was going to join us. I think you have a game show skill set that I think you should utilize. There's a book out there.
Okay.
There's a book out there.
Yeah, what's really on my desk is a half completed bottle of Diet Coke. So that's
Well, that's good. There's a book out there called The Third Door. I can't remember the author now, but he hacked I forget what game show it was, to win a sailboat, and he used that to have money because he wanted to interview all these different people. And The Third Door, it's basically, I can't remember the guy's name. If Shanae, if you remember this guy's name, I can't remember his name, but he wanted to interview Bill Gates and all these other people. And so he went into this game show. He got in this game show and he hacked it. And he won a sailboat. It was like, I don't know, $75,000, $100,000. And he used that money to get in front of people and interview people. The Third Door is, this is how he describes it. I wish I remember his name. Is in a nightclub. Now, remember, this guy's like 24, okay? In a nightclub, you got people that's a long line around the building. You know, you got to wait there for hours. You got the VIP entrance. That's where all the celebrities and millionaires and billionaires get in. And then you have the third door. That's where you run around back, climb through the kitchen window, go through the kitchen door, and get in. That's the entrepreneurial lifestyle, The Third Door. Okay, great book, by the way. All right. So, round 2, question 2. Lucia, it's come on. We need you to come back, okay? You can't let Ron sit here as the ultimate champion, or do we? All right. So, which letter in TABS, TTABS, is most important and why? Boom. Okay, Lucia. This has to do with your
A, attitude.
booyah. I almost said something, and I'm glad I didn't, because then I'd have to give it to Ron. Yes, nothing happens without the right attitude. And this goes to the post that you had this morning, by the way. So, exactly right. It's our attitude. Let me give you guys the attitude principle. And I'm not talking about tude. I'm talking about the attitude, your mindset, your perspective, okay? And the reason why I say attitude instead of mindset, because TTMBS, I would be like, okay? I want it to be tabs. It's about keeping tabs on why things aren't working so you can correct them. If you take 2 salespeople, okay, and one is skilled in sales, understands the sales process, understands overcome objections, but it doesn't like the product, isn't enamored by the product, doesn't believe in the product. And then you take a newbie who's like sold on a product big time, but doesn't have any sales skills. The newbie will outperform the seasoned sales professional because our belief, our attitude, not only in the product, which is huge, but also in ourselves determines how we do in life. If you don't have the right attitude, you ain't going to take action. And if you do, it's going to be, well, maybe I was talking to someone, well, I don't know if I'll do this. It probably won't want to talk with me. You know what? That's going to self-fulfill and manifest into your life. Okay. Question 3, round 2. This is a little bit longer question. Okay. And when I'm done, the final phrase of this will be, what should you do? Okay. So when you hear that, you put your thumbs up, but don't put them up yet. Okay. What should you do in this situation? You're communicating indirect messages, and someone who's interested in your offer, seems interested, then all of a sudden they start ghosting you, meaning they don't follow up. What should you do? Ron, boom. Okay. So, A, keep following up until they respond. Follow up 2 more times and move on. C, that was B, by the way. Follow up 2 more times and move on. C, go for no. Have you decided? So go for no, and this is how you go for no. Have you decided you're no longer interested in continuing our conversation? That's C. Or D, move on to someone else. What a waste of time. Wrong.
C.
Yes.
Nope. Go for no.
Yes, exactly right. When you go for no, people are more likely to say yes. And I see you guys raising your hand to come up on stage. I'm going to do a Q&A at the end of this. We're almost done here, and you guys are welcome to come up on stage. If you want to come up on stage and just kind of sit there, that's fine. But please keep yourself muted because we're right now in the middle of in a game show. Okay, let me give you all something from Chris Voss, who wrote the book Never Split the Difference. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and this is where I got this one line, going for no. When you use this going for no, are you no longer interested in communicating? Are you no longer interested in moving forward with this project? Just one line, when you do this, and he did a study on this, he's a former FBI hostage negotiator, so he understands and knows human psychology. And when you use this phrase, the negative phrase, going for no, people will follow up with that negative phrase within 2 to 5 minutes. 92% of the people will follow up within 2 to 5 minutes. Okay? So no one understands. And if the people don't follow up, move on down the road. I've done this with my clients during our Q&A sessions. Hey, Chaz, I'm being ghosted. I'm like, okay, well, go for no. And usually during our Q&A session, they just got back to me. They've been ghosting me for 6 months. All right. So go for no. And all right. So here's going to be the final question. Okay. Right now, my judge disappeared. Sinead,
I'm taking over for her.
Oh, are you? Okay, great. Do you have an account, Tara? By the way, welcome, Tara.
Welcome. What kind of account?
Count on Lucia and Ron.
Shoot, I think it was even, but I might be wrong.
Is that wrong? We'll just go with the honor principle, guys. Is it?
No, it was.
Is it 1-1?
No, I thought it was 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. There you go.
Okay, who's
2
got
for
2?
Ron.
Okay, 2. Okay. So, Lucia, if you can get this, then we'll go to a tie-breaking round. Okay. If you don't do this, then we'll have to celebrate Ron, and Ron will be the ultimate champion of the game show. First episode. All right. So, you have a prospect that looks like a shirt. Now, this is going to be a long answer. As soon as you hear what would you do, then you could put your thumbs up. But I'm not there yet. So let's start at the beginning. All right. You have a prospect that looks like a sure thing in becoming a client. After you present your offer, they say, This looks great. Ron, Lucia, wow, this is amazing. I'm really interested. Follow up with me in a week. What do you do? Okay, Lucia, I saw you there. All right. So, follow up in a week, like the person said. That's A. A, follow up in a week. B, get a time on each other's calendar to talk in a week. Or C, ask these 3 questions this way. Let's imagine the person's your potential client's name is Melvin. Okay, Melvin. Thanks for the feedback. I'm excited. You're excited. Okay. Is there anything giving you pause or hesitation from getting this started now? Okay, that's the first question, and they're going to respond to it. Melvin, is there anything that I didn't cover that you hoped I would have? Okay. And the third question, you're excited. What's your confidence level in me and my offer from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being 0% confident and 10 being 100% confident? So what's your confidence level in me and my solution on a scale of 1 to 10 that I can solve your problem and help you reach your goal? So A, B, or C?
C.
Booyah! Yes! All right. All right. So we're in a tie. Wow, this is coming down to an end. I didn't plan this. How exciting is this? Anne, great to see you. Rosie. All right. Joni, great to see you. Okay. So we are going into the final question. The person who gets this answer will have Kansas City barbecue shipped to them, to your house. Down in Texas. Ron, where do you live?
Detroit.
Okay, so it's going
I will
up.
donate it.
You don't eat barbecue. Do you,
I eat barbecue in Texas all the time.
but it's like Kansas City barbecue is so much better than Texas barbecue. Okay.
Okay, then I'll judge. Let's see. Then I want to have a chance. to
Right,
win
and when you
this.
come back, then you can say, you know what, Chaz, I just want to tell you that you're right. Kansas City barbecue is much better than Texas barbecue. So everybody come back next week and to see that Kansas City barbecue is the best. Okay, so last question of the day. And the person who gets this question will be the winner of the first game show. All right. Man, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know about you guys, but I am. All right. I lost my other judge. She's gone now. Tara. All right. But I think we just need one answer here. Okay. What LinkedIn content will invite 100% of your followers to subscribe to that content? Lucia. This is just an open-ended question, and there is no multiple choice. So, what is your answer?
It needs to be informative, educational,
Okay.
inspirational.
So let me ask the question a better way. Okay.
Okay.
So, and since I'm just starting everybody, I'm realizing, hey, I didn't ask it. So there's a certain part, and by the way, we'll in the audience, if you guys want to be a lifeline, put your thumb up, and Lucia can have you come up on stage, and you could be a lifeline, okay? Or Ron if she doesn't get it, okay? So, okay, Shankar has his thumbs up, just so you know. So there's a certain type of content that you put out, not inspirational, educational, and entertaining. That's all important, but this is a specific content that's unique to LinkedIn. You know, you have like videos, posts, all these different things, but this one specific content is when you set this up for the first time, it will send all of your followers, 100% of your followers, an option to subscribe to this specific type of content.
Newsletters.
Booyah! Yes! Didn't even have to use the lifeline. All right. So coming from behind to win, and now you'll find out next week the Kansas City barbecue is the best. Everybody give Ron, Lucia a hand, and Christopher, too, who came up on stage. Awesome, guys. Okay. So now, anybody have a question about anything? Anybody want to give feedback on, 'cause this is my first time doing this. Please do. Okay. Is it Arun? Please unmute yourself. I'm sure I'm butchering your name and I apologize. Please, bottom right-hand corner. Ron, great job, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Arun, are you there? Okay. Anybody else want to come up, have any questions about anything? LinkedIn, ChatGPT, sales, marketing. Shankar, I should have him come up. He can give you, he's a AI expert. By the way, on Thursday, I do ChatGPT and sales conversations. So join me. It's the same time, 11:30 Central Time. Shankar, welcome, man.
Shankar, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you all?
Good.
How
Awesome.
fun was this? What a great way to educate, Jazz.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, while you're up here, if you have a question, ask. Or is there a ChatGPT AI tip that you can give people?
Oh, yes. So, ChatGPT AI tip. I think one of the features that is underutilized is first feeding it an initial model. Like, for example, let's say you like someone's LinkedIn post a lot, one of your mentors or one of your idols on LinkedIn. So you're going to copy that post of that person and you're going to tell ChatGPT, here, look at this post, I like it. And then you paste it in and then it will probably tell you, well, yeah, that's great. It's a nice post. But now you can say, can you help me write a similar post based on what I have to offer? Because what I do is very different from my mentor, but I like the structure of the post and I like the psychological elements that were crafted in. And then you just see it will help you and it will give you a great starting point for your post. Now, don't go and copy paste, but it's a great starting point.
Yeah, that's I appreciate that. And to Shankar, what he's just saying, it's you got to be you in your content. So the great thing about ChatGPT is it can give you the framework, it can give you information, and then you have to craft it and put it in your own voice. But what's the most difficult part of content? Coming up with ideas, right? So, all right. Anybody else have any questions? Shankar, you have a question on anything?
How do you always remain in such a good mood and you're just so happy all the time? Do you have days where you don't feel like that, and how do you overcome that?
Yeah. Yes. You know what? This is such a good question. I love this question. So the thing that I was listening to, this will go to it. It's kind of a long answer, but it'll give you some insight. I was listening to Layla Hormozi, who is the wife of Alex Hormozi, and she was talking about her dad, who was a professor, and he hated his job, and it was just like draining, and he's always in pain. He couldn't sleep, and then they offered him 2 years severance if he would quit. And so she's like, Dad, you'd be nuts not to take this. So he took the money, and Layla and Alex Hormozi have acquisition.com. They invest in businesses that are like between 3 to 10 million, and they get them up to $100 million in sales. And one of these businesses had they needed to hire someone, and their dad had the skill sets based on this position. Alex was like, I don't know, he's not an entrepreneur. But he filled this position, and within 2 weeks, he was texting his daughter saying, Layla, it's like my back was always hurting, my knees are hurting, I wasn't sleeping. I'm sleeping through the night, I'm energized in the morning, and my pain is gone. So, to your question, Shankar, it's doing what I enjoy and what I love. And then that's because for much of my life, I had like the worst attitude. Seriously. I was always looking at the negative and whatnot. I would maybe sound kind of positive on the outside, but at the heart of me. And the other shift I made was this. I was focusing on all the things I didn't have and all the things I had to do. And when I made a paradigm shift to thinking about all that I get to do and all that I have, you get it? The things I have to do. Just think about it. Say that to yourself. I have to do this. I get to do this, okay? And then all the things I have as opposed to, man, look at Shankar. He's got this agency and he's got all these clients and I don't, if I was like this, it's like, yeah, you're going to be miserable. So shifting and understanding gratitude changed my life. I mean, those are just some the purpose, living out of my purpose, and then focusing on gratitude. Great question. Yeah, but the other thing is, this morning, just so you know, I had a family member that is going through a hard time. One of my kids, and we're going back and forth, and it's like you always hate it when your kids are struggling, and they're grown. One works for me, and the other one doesn't, and the other one that's going through some challenges, and so we were going back and forth, and it was kind of like draining me at the time. And I'm like, man, I got to get up for this event. When I get around people, I'm an extrovert, it energizes me. And so that's the third answer, or another reason why. Joni, you have a question or you want to introduce yourself? Welcome.
Hi. No, not a question, but kind of a comment on that because I I am a sales director for a construction electrical testing company. And I think that putting yourself out there and connecting with people business-wise really does help. But I think that people who have overcome some struggles, they choose to be kind or they choose to be angry. And that is a really big gift as an older person. I mean, I'm 40, but
Oh my goodness.
but
You're not even
but
halfway through your
it
life
does.
yet.
I have not lived half my life, but it is a choice you make, and kindness speaks so much better in sales than anything else. And just finding something identifiable within a client, and it makes you happy to be kind to someone else. And that's why, honestly, like I don't get frustrated at any of my reps. I mean, I'm definitely I hold them accountable, but I don't get frustrated. I'm always positive because that's my choice, and that is all of your choice too. So that is why I join kind of different LinkedIn groups, because I like to hear around the world all these people who are choosing positivity over not. And if I don't feel positive, I do 10 push-ups. So there we go.
There you go. And you can get pretty buffed in like a week if you're like, oh man, I'm a positive 10.
I mean, not at 40, but we'll talk about that offline. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, great feedback. That's so true. Our attitude, our perspective determines our direction in life. And here's something for you all to take away. We all face challenges, and your challenge can be an anchor that keeps you stuck in mediocrity, or your challenge can be a springboard that takes you into your potential. You know what the difference is? This should have been one of the game show questions. The difference is your perspective. You can look at that and say, okay, I understand that I grow through challenges. I learn through failures. I learn through this. Or you say, oh man, why does this always happen to me? The questions you ask yourself determine the direction of your life. I think Tony Robbins said that, and maybe someone said that before him, maybe Jim Rohn, because that's his mentor. So remember that next time you're facing a challenge, your perspective can be an anchor that keeps you stuck, or it could be a springboard. Russell, welcome, man. You have a question? You want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Chaz. I just had a question about this platform, LinkedIn Live Audio. What is it? How are you thinking about using this now that you've had a bit of a taste of it?
Yeah. Well, the game show is came out of this. It's all ever evolving, and so here's something real important. This is such a good question, Russell. This is where a lot of people get hung up. And as I was talking about my mentor Shanae earlier, she has an idea and she acts on it, okay? Because she understands it's progress, not perfection. And that's in my mind. I had a failed business when I was 25, and I allowed that to keep me stuck in my in my employment, living the successful career life for another 25 years before starting my business. But then I finally broke out of my comfort zone, acted on my thoughts, and started my business. And so with this platform, the more I do it, nothing will provide clarity like execution, acting on your thoughts. So the more I do this, I don't know how long I've been doing this now. Twice each week, I don't know. It could be a year, 6 months, 8 months. The time just goes so fast. So every time I do it, I come up with ideas. And because of who I am as a person, I'm energetic. I thought, hey, maybe do a game show. And you know what? The game show today could have totally flopped. It almost did, as I lost power at the beginning of this. But we ended up working through this and getting it through. But there definitely were some flaws in my execution today. So I can continue to improve and think about, okay, how can I improve this? And here's your question, Russell. How can I improve this? How can I make this better? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? It's very important to ask those two questions, because if you don't ask yourself what you did wrong, which I did for much of my life, you're never going to live in truth. If you're just looking at the flowery, hey, what did I do good? And you don't own your failure and ask yourself the right questions, you won't move on. So any feedback or follow up on that, Russell? Anybody?
Yeah, that's cool. So how many times did you say you've done it now, LinkedIn Live Audio?
Let's just say 10 months, twice a week. So 4.3 weeks times, Shankar, you got a kind of a calculator brain. So we got 8.6 times 10, so 86 times.
Oh wow, cool. And so just reflecting back on all that, what are sort of like your biggest learnings now from it?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know what? I was doing LinkedIn Live, which is the video live version, and I would always go in and I would be kind of stressed, even though I like to be in front of people and audience. I would do it and kind of stressed, and I was have to have things and go through it. You know, I used to spend like 3 hours preparing, then 2 hours, then 1 hour. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And then all of a sudden the audio event came on, and I remember I was doing it with Clubhouse because LinkedIn stole this idea from Clubhouse. And I did it, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is set up for exactly who I am as a person. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, hey, I'm so great at this. I'm just saying the platform is set up. And so today I prepared for it, but usually for the regular events, audio events, I'm not preparing. I'm just going and answering questions on the fly. And I love that atmosphere. I love the engagement. And so as I did this, I stopped doing my LinkedIn Lives. And I went, because I was doing my LinkedIn Live once a week and audio event when I first started. And now I do 2 audio events a week. Yeah, so I did. Everybody out here, if you're not doing an audio event, you should. Lucia, you did it, and you should be scheduling another one if you haven't yet. And it's just a different format, and that's why it's so important to try different things to see what works well for you and what engages your audience. And when you put your skill set with your personality and your strengths and your gifts around a platform, it's a great way to use content, and so you're not drained. Oh, I got to get your content. I got to do a LinkedIn Live. I'm jazzed for coming to these each 2 times a week. Make sense?
Yeah, cool. No, thanks for sharing that. Just another question. Do you get the opportunity to save these calls and archive them or put them in a series or something for
Yeah.
future?
Yes. So let's talk about tabs, TTABS. So, and by the way, I stole this idea from. I was thinking about this, but Shanae told me the equipment to get. So I record this, and I have right now. I have my camera is recording this, but you can't see me, and I'm recording this through a Zoom box, which is kind of like it's called PodTrack P4. So I'm recording the audio, because LinkedIn records these, but they don't give replays like they do with LinkedIn Lives. So what I'll do is I have a guy, he puts the audio and video together, and then I'll restream it through my streaming service, because LinkedIn doesn't have like a Facebook Live. You put, let's go live on Facebook. You have to stream it. So if you go Saturday and Sunday mornings, you'll actually see the video and the replay of these events through my LinkedIn Lives. And it's cool because then you got video and then you got the audio and it's put together. And so that's a way to repurpose content and then give people who are there see the video of me and what I was doing behind the scenes when I was freaking out when my power went out. Because
Nice.
my camera was still going. It was just my audio was out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And so you're actually recording on video now too
I am.
for your
Yes,
yeah,
I am.
awesome.
Yeah, I am. So I see you're in San Francisco. What part of the world are you from? Because that's not a San Francisco accent.
No, I'm a bit of a mixture. I grew up in Australia,
I was
but
gonna
I was
say that.
actually born in India.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna
So
say I thought it was an Australian accent. I have several clients from Australia, and I'm also I'm in a group with a bunch of people from down under. I'm the only person from the from the States in this group. So very cool. Anybody else have any last question before we leave? If you're in the audience, put your hand up. Anybody on stage, final thoughts before we end?
No, it's a great session, Chaz. Thanks for including all of us.
Yeah, thanks for getting up on stage. Give Ron a hand, because if it wasn't for Ron getting up on stage, we wouldn't have an event. I was thinking about having people who put in the audience or say, hey, will you be my first 2 contestants? Because it's always hard to get someone on stage. No one wants to be the first one. So, Ron, I appreciate you. Thank you. Joni, do you have another question?
There's a quick question for you. So do you have so LinkedIn sometimes asks me personally to be part of a group that adds feedback for LinkedIn, because I love using LinkedIn for networking, and I'm reaching the end of my followers, and so I think it would be advantageous if they had a chat window for any of the LinkedIn Live. And so I was curious if anyone else had any feedback for that, because that is part of that. They ask me to do these kind of feedback sessions a lot about what other features, because this is not like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And so I want to make it the best that we can.
Yeah. So you're asking like a part on LinkedIn where you can give direct feedback to them?
Like to the whole group. So I think that would be really advantageous. But if you have any other feedback on how it would work better for you, I would like to know it, because I also use LinkedIn a lot for different things. So.
Yeah, so best way direct feedback to me is to send me a message. And by the way, I'll have a follow-up message going out to you all afterwards to get a feedback. Please respond, because I'll say, what was your greatest takeaway? Anything you'd like me to discuss in the future. So that's that. As far as like LinkedIn direct feedback, I'm part of an inner circle on LinkedIn for LinkedIn groups because LinkedIn decimated their groups. LinkedIn groups, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, were the best groups on all of social media to about 2012. And then they just, oh man, the interactions, the notifications within groups are just bad. And so Facebook, if you all remember this, if you're a coach or in a community, Facebook, people used to go to LinkedIn and then the coaches would take them to a Facebook group and that's where they would manage celebrations, questions and everything. Now, so LinkedIn was missing out. LinkedIn was missing out on people staying on their platform because of the groups. Now they're looking to, I'm part of this inner circle. They've given me some different things, some tools to use within the groups. And then I can give them direct feedback on the LinkedIn groups. But they still have a long way to go. There's product people you can reach out to. But just so you know, if you ever have a question for LinkedIn, the best place to go is go to Twitter and search at LinkedIn Help and send them a DM. They'll respond to you, I mean, within an hour. You go to regular LinkedIn for a support question or question about anything, I mean, it could be days before they get back to you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Ron, thanks again. Lucia, awesome. Winner. Now you'll get the best barbecue in the world. You will not know what happened to you when you start having this beef brisket melt in your mouth. You'll be thinking, what have I been doing my entire life without having Kansas City barbecue? All right, everybody. Thank you. All right.